In a large desert in Nebraska, dinosaurs now roam. This Herrerasaurus is just one of many that now call this place their permanent sanctuary. And it's far from the only one, as there is other creatures that live here too, like this Herrerasaurus. Specifically, a Biosyn engineered Herrerasaurus, as there is already an Ingen Herrerasaurus known. This is a completely different species. This variant is somewhat larger, being about 15 feet long instead of the Ingen's measly 13 feet, but both of them are ambush predators. And this Herrerasaurus is currently eyeing this Dinosaur, as it's one of the few herbivores that actually lives out here. The Herrerasaur has the benefit of having a color scheme that matches the sandy environment where it lives in. Although a 15-foot long carnivore might not be the best fit for a large sauropod that also has armor on it, this Herrerasaurus is getting desperate. It hasn't gotten food in several days, and it desperately needs it. But these Herrerasaurs have schedules when it comes to their ambushes. They have a select plan on how to delicately handle each and every situation. And this Herrerasaurus has done this many times. While some might say the sunlight is too revealing, others might say it's ingenious. With the orange color scheme mixed with the fact that the Dinosaur has hard vision, it's almost a foolproof plan. The first delicate move is to make a mock charge maneuver. Step 1 is in order. This shows that it's gotten close enough to the Dinosaur and has still not been noticed. This means it can go further forward. Obviously though, a tiny Herrerasaurus is not going to take down a gigantic sauropod. So our Herrerasaurus leaves and retreats back into the desert, his home. During a large breakout that happened in 2020, it was discovered that Biosyn had been creating quite a lot of dinosaurs, and the Herrerasaurus was one of them. This one, like I said earlier, is slightly larger than the Ingen variety, but other differences include the fact that this one has lips and the Ingen one does not. Biosyn claims to have allegedly used 100% complete genomes, meaning that there is nothing else in this creature's DNA. However, that claim is somewhat scarce. But if our sources are correct, this Herrerasaurus does not have any other DNA in it. It is strictly a Herrerasaurus. Paleontologists can actually use this Herrerasaurus as evidence to see how it looked in real life, how it acted in real life, and just overall things about it too, because of the fact it's 100% pure. A paper was presented in early 2022 that showed a lot of the findings that paleontologists have found from it so far, like the fact that its diet is very, very mixed. For example, it will go after larger animals like the Apellosaurus we saw earlier, but it will also go after insects as well. This means that the Herrerasaurus is most likely an opportunist. It has even been seen feasting off of other carcasses, so this also backs up the idea that was presented earlier. They are also quite territorial creatures, marking their territory with scents and pheromones to let other predators know that this is their area. Now this skill does usually work, however, there have been a few instances where creatures have stepped in. You see, Herrerasaurus is not the only small predator that shares this desert, who is arguably wilier, deadlier, and much more tacty. An early theropod by the name of Elaphrosaurus. Even though it's an Ingen creature and not 100% pure, this doesn't mean it's not going to have a territorial dispute. It's also somewhat larger than the Biosyn Herrerasaurus, which makes it an even deadlier foe. A good old-fashioned dinosaur standoff is about to occur. Releasing its pheromones against the ground, the Herrerasaurus is showing that this is its territory, and it is not afraid to defend it. But the Elaphrosaurus is not much bothered. With a lot of intimidation, the Elaphrosaurus backs down, and the Herrerasaurus goes on to win another day. But that's all for this Ingen dinosaur profile. However, we are not done in this desert. There is many more animals here, and many more terrifying dinosaurs to uncover. But remember, if something chases you, run.